in terms of a J, a B, and a Pac. I happen to dig the music of both Jay-Z and Beyonce, and I don't get caught up in the hype of who's having whose baby, or is it real or is it fake. I just believe that love is the prescription to medicate the living, and if they are representative of that after all the bloggers and photographers are gone, that's great. If not, my world won't stop either way, and I doubt that anyone else's would either. Many say, why touch on the subject if you feel that way, just let it rest. But to that I say, it's about time somebody say that regardless of what we all know goes on, music is music, and you feel it as you will. But to judge these current artists on their personal lives and the next minute celebrate legends who were known drug addicts is contradictory, to say the least. No disrespect to the legends who paved paths, but if we are to be true in our acknowledgement of musical industry figures from a personal perspective, then you have to put that out there. But for me, you either love or hate the music, and it begins and ends with that. I'm up all day and night trying to make things right for me and my own. So as long as Jay keep dropping that double and triple entendre on him, and B keeps my better half grooving through life, let it be. No pun intended. And the thing about Tupac Shakur, there was none greater in relating to youngsters who came up during what we refer to as the raw time. This period from say 1993 to 1998 was when a lot was getting shook up within hip hop, and I'm not going to go into all the hoopla, because if you don't know, you must have either not been allowed to listen to rap music, grew up far away from where hip hop was popping, or you just simply are too young or too older to fully understand the impact that this period had on the generation who grew up within this time and the hip hop world overall. And the sad but true thing about it is that the party and bullshit won the war, as is evident by what you're seeing out here today. The funny and crazy thing about the correlation between Jay and Tupac with me is that it took me years to really listen to Jay-Z on the strength of what Tupac was saying and creating during that time. I mean, I was 16, 17 years old at the time, and being a fan, yes, I was a fan when I was young. I now view music as a man, and if you can't dig the difference, then we'll just have to leave you under that rock. But I didn't start listening to Jay really until the Blueprint. And be advised that in the first segment of the messages within the music, I went over the album Machiavelli, the Don Illuminati, which I consider to be the true blueprint. So understand that when majority of people were loving Jay music and bumping to it, all his collaborations, we didn't get down with the dude like that early on. And I liked Big growing up, you know what I'm saying? But after all the dust settled and I continued to grow, I realized that there was a bigger picture that Pac was talking about, and these other dudes were talking about redundant themes to keep the people dancing. You know what I'm saying? And now Jay's the devil. After he started getting a little deeper in his lyrics, when he was doing Give It To Me and Big Pimp, and everybody was loving it, right? He wasn't Lucifer then. He was your very own hit maker. But now that he be putting out some real game, he's the bad guy. And that speaks volumes to the type of society we live in, regardless of any 666 ways of keeping the people engaged in counterproductive activity. We got to deal with what's out here in the best ways we know. I fully understand that not everybody has the same focus, so the ones who are aware that some of this stuff is going on, they have to not fall victim to the gaining of information. It ain't nothing to search Google and find sources to support your argument either way. Scorching. But the fact of the matter is, less travel. If we don't use the gravel is gathered, and the land is finally that we love to better ourselves and those around us, we'll end up looking for another change. And this has been a WACS Messages Within the Music public service announcement.